Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Podcast Zone. If you're new here, this is the show where we mix real-life English with everyday stories, helping you sound natural and confident when you speak. I'm Emma, and today we're talking about something almost everyone loves, travel.
Exactly. I'm Jack, your co-host and occasional travel disaster magnet. Trust me, if there's a way to miss a flight or lose luggage, I've probably done it.
That's why today's topic is talking about travel plans. We'll imagine we're planning a trip together, from choosing the destination to packing our bags. And we'll also teach you useful English expressions for travel. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and get ready to journey with us through words and wanderlust.
Emma begins the conversation like she's opening a friendly brainstorming session. Okay, Jack, if we could go anywhere in the world right now, budget, time, and responsibilities aside, where would you want to travel?
Oh, easy question. Japan. I've always wanted to see Tokyo's neon lights, the cherry blossoms, and those quiet temples in Kyoto. That mix of old and new fascinates me.
Japan, great choice. It's full of contrast, modern technology and deep tradition side by side. Personally, I choose Italy. I mean, pasta, history, art, and that musical language. What's not to love?
They both laugh, realizing they're already mentally packing their bags.
Maybe we can compromise. Start in Italy for food and culture, then fly to Japan for tech and tranquility.
That sounds like a dream itinerary. And by the way, itinerary means a detailed travel plan, where you'll go and when. She pauses slightly, as if addressing listeners directly. Emma explaining. So, listeners, remember this word, itinerary. It's pronounced itinerary. It's super useful when you're talking about your travel schedule.
And if your pronunciation goes wrong, don't worry. Just keep speaking. Communication is more important than perfection. Right, Emma?
Absolutely. Confidence first, corrections later. They lean into the excitement of dreaming about travel.
I love this part of traveling, the planning. It's like the adventure starts before you even leave. Researching places, watching vlogs, imagining yourself walking those streets.
Yes, planning gives you the taste of travel. It's almost like mental sightseeing. And it helps you learn new words too, like booking, reservation, destination, accommodation, and itinerary again.
Right. For example, when I say I need to book accommodation, it means I have to reserve a hotel or an Airbnb. You can also say, I've made a reservation. Same idea.
And destination simply means the place you're traveling to. Like, our destination is Tokyo. Very straightforward. She pauses, then adds thoughtfully. Speaking of Tokyo, I once read that travelers there use the phrase, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, which basically means when you visit another place, respect its customs and do things the local way.
That's one of my favorite idioms. It's old but timeless. I once learned it the hard way in Thailand. Took my shoes into a temple. Big mistake. But I learned.
See, travel teaches you language and manners. It's the best classroom on earth. Jack chuckles as he imagines packing chaos.
Okay, so let's imagine we're actually going. What's the first thing you pack, Emma?
My passport. I don't trust myself until it's in my bag. Then comes a travel journal, my headphones, and a good book. What about you?
I'd say gadgets, camera, chargers, and my lucky hat. I have this one hat that's been with me to 5 countries. I can't travel without it.
Lucky hat. That's adorable. I have the similar thing with my travel notebook. It's like my memory keeper.
That's the charm of traveling, isn't it? Every item tells a story. But packing is always tricky. Like, I overpack every time.
Me too. And here's a good expression for our listeners: to travel light. It means to pack only what's necessary, not too much luggage.
Yes, I wish I could travel light. But I always think, what if I need this? And end up packing everything.
Classic. Also, when people say pack your bags, it can be literal or emotional. For example, she packed her bags and moved to another city. That means she left for good, not just a short trip.
That's a good point. Idioms like that make English fun, but also confusing sometimes.
True, but context helps. That's why podcasts like this are great. You hear words used in real situations.
You know what excites me most about traveling? Meeting people from different backgrounds. Every country has its rhythm, its way of saying hello, eating, celebrating.
Exactly. Language and culture are like twins. For instance, in Japan, people bow in greeting. In Italy, they might kiss on the cheek. And in Pakistan, guests are treated like family from the first moment.
Beautifully said. That's the magic of the world's diversity. By the way, Emma, what's one culture shock you've experienced while traveling?
Oh, good question, Jack. In Spain, dinner starts at 9 p.m. or later. I was starving by then, but I learned to adapt. It reminded me of the phrase, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, again.
Yeah, travel really teaches patience and flexibility. You have to go with the flow.
Exactly. Go with the flow means to relax and adapt to whatever happens, not to stress too much about control. It's a great life lesson.
I love that. Maybe that's the real reason people travel, to learn how to go with the flow.
Beautiful thought, Jack. And maybe that's the perfect point to pause our first part. We've chosen our dream destinations, learned some new words like itinerary, destination, and travel light, and we realized travel isn't just about seeing new places, it's about seeing yourself in new ways.
Wow, poetic. All right, everyone. That wraps up part 1 of today's episode. In part 2, we'll dive deeper into planning details, like booking flights, finding the best deals, and talking about travel budgets in English.
So stay tuned. Remember, language learning is also a journey. The more you travel through words, the further your confidence will go.
Together, this is the English Podcast Zone, where your English takes off.
Exactly. This part is about what happens when wanderlust meets reality. Money, flights, bookings, and all the little details that make travel smooth.
Ah, yes, the not-so-glamorous but totally necessary part of every trip, because even the most exciting vacation needs a plan and a good budget.
Speaking of which, I think the word budget scares a lot of people.
True. Let's start right there. So the word budget simply means the amount of money you plan to spend. It's like your financial roadmap for a trip.
Right. You can say, I'm traveling on a tight budget, which means you don't want to spend much. Or, I'm on a shoestring budget, which is an idiom meaning you're trying to save as much as possible.
Good one. And if you're not too worried about money, you might say, I'm splurging a bit this time. To splurge means to spend more than usual, especially on something that makes you happy.
I remember once I splurged on a first-class ticket to Paris. Huge mistake. After 1 hour, I was asleep, didn't enjoy a single luxury.
Haha, classic Jack. That's the thing. Sometimes experiences are better investments than comfort.
Totally agree. That's why I like hostels. You meet people from around the world and it costs less.
Exactly. And hostel, for our listeners, is a cheaper type of accommodation where travelers share rooms. It's perfect for students or backpackers.
Speaking of which, backpacker is another great word. It means someone traveling with a backpack, usually on a low budget and flexible schedule.
Right. So budget, hostel, backpacker. These are your travel trio for saving money and gaining stories.
Okay, now that we've talked about money, let's imagine we're booking our flight to Japan and Italy. What's the first step, Emma?
The first thing is always searching for flights. You can say, I'm looking for a round-trip ticket from Karachi to Tokyo, for example. Round trip means you're flying there and coming back. One way means you're only going there, not returning.
Right, and here's a travel tip for our listeners. If you're flexible with your dates, you can find cheaper fares. That's why people say flexibility saves money.
Exactly. And when you book online, you'll often see different fare classes, like economy, business, and first class. Economy class is the standard one most people use.
Yep, I always fly economy. More adventure, less damage to the wallet.
Same here. Now, there's also a word we use when we finish booking. Confirmation. For example, I got a confirmation email for my flight. It means your booking is officially done.
Don't forget check-in. That's when you tell the airline you've arrived for your flight, usually 24 hours before departure. You can check in online or at the airport.
Exactly. And departure means when your flight leaves. Arrival means when it reaches the destination.
These simple words, check-in, departure, arrival, boarding pass, are the heart of airport English.
Yes, let's list a few useful ones for our listeners. Gate, the area where you board the plane. Boarding pass, the paper or digital pass you need to get on the plane. Baggage claim, the area where you collect your luggage after landing. Customs, the section you pass through when entering a new country.
That's the vocabulary we all wish we learned before our first flight.
Exactly. Travel is a great teacher. It forces you to use English in real life.
Okay, flights are done. Now, where are we staying in Japan? Hotel, hostel, or...
I'd love to stay in a traditional Japanese ryokan. That's a local-style inn where you sleep on tatami mats and wear yukatas. It's cultural immersion.
That sounds amazing. I'll book it right away. So, listeners, when you talk about where you'll stay, you use the word accommodation. For example, I need to find accommodation near the city center.
Exactly. You can say book a room or reserve a hotel. And if you're using apps like Booking.com or Airbnb, you can say I made a reservation for 3 nights.
Now, here's an important expression: check in and check out. You check in when you arrive at the hotel and check out when you leave.
Correct. And here's a polite way to ask about availability. Hi, do you have any rooms available for next weekend? That's better than just saying I want a room.
Yes, politeness matters. English is not only about vocabulary, but tone. Could I, would you mind, and may I all make you sound respectful.
Exactly, especially when speaking to hotel staff. And remember to use thank you and please. They open all doors.
Especially hotel doors.
Exactly. But seriously, using polite English creates a positive impression anywhere in the world.
All right, flights booked, hotel booked, what's next? Oh yes, visas and documents.
The boring but essential part. You can't skip it.
Right. Visa means permission from a country to enter and stay there for a specific time. Some countries offer visa-free travel, meaning you don't need one if your stay is short.
Exactly. And there's also visa on arrival. That's when you can get a visa after you land.
For listeners, let's make a small phrase list. Apply for a visa means to request one. Visa approved means your application was accepted. Visa rejected means it was denied.
And don't forget travel insurance. It's like a safety net for your trip. Covers medical or flight problems. So useful.
Totally agree. Another travel essential, checking the weather. It decides your clothes, your plans, even your mood sometimes.
True. And here's a tip. Learn basic weather words in English. Sunny, cloudy, rainy, humid, windy, chilly. You'll use them everywhere.
Yes, for example, it's chilly today, better pack a jacket. Or it looks humid, I'll bring a cap. Simple but effective communication.
And you know what? Planning all this makes me feel like we're already halfway on the journey.
That's the beauty of travel planning. It's both practical and emotional. You prepare your documents, but also your heart.
Wow, poetic again. You're turning travel into philosophy.
I might be. That I believe every plan tells a story. The words we use, budget, itinerary, booking, confirmation, they're not just vocabulary, they're bridges between people.
I love that. And I think it's a good point to wrap up today's part.
Yes. So, listeners, today we learned how to talk about booking flights, finding accommodation, making reservations, and handling documents, all in English.
And we learned some idioms too. On a shoestring budget, travel light, go with the flow.
Exactly. So next time, in part 3, we'll take off for real. We'll imagine landing in Japan and discuss airport English, meeting locals, and exploring new cities, everything travelers face on arrival.
I can't wait. So pack your curiosity and let's continue the journey in the next episode. Together, this is the English Podcast Zone where your English takes off.
Yes, after all that planning, we're ready to travel. And we're going to talk about airport English, arrival vocabulary, and how to start conversations while traveling abroad.
So, buckle up, everyone. Today's episode is full of action, phrases, and culture. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced English learner, you'll love this ride.
All right, Emma, imagine we're standing at the airport check-in counter. The first thing we hear is, "Can I see your passport, please?" The most classic airport sentence ever.
Exactly. And then you usually hand over your passport and your ticket or booking confirmation. The staff might ask, do you have any luggage to check in? That means, do you want to send your suitcase into the plane's cargo area?
Right. If you only have a small bag you keep with you, that's called hand luggage or carry-on baggage.
Yes, and then comes my favorite part, the boarding pass. Once you get it, you know your gate number, seat number, and boarding time.
I always double-check my gate. One time I waited for hours at the wrong one. Lesson learned, airports can be confusing.
Happens to everyone. Oh, and here's an important word, security check. That's where you pass through scanning machines and you might be asked to remove your shoes, belt, or laptop from your bag.
Exactly. And the officer might say, "Please empty your pockets," or "Take out your laptop, please." Always respond politely, "Sure, of course," or "Here you go." Simple words, but they show respect.
Good point. After security, you usually go through immigration or passport control. The officer might ask, what's the purpose of your visit? Or how long will you stay?
Yes, and you can answer, "I'm here on vacation," or "I'll be staying for 2 weeks." Short, clear, and confident.
Exactly. It's not an interview, it's just procedure. Smile, answer honestly, and you'll be fine.
Okay, we're finally at the gate. The announcement says, "Now boarding rows 20 to 35. I always wonder, why do people rush when their row isn't called yet?
Travel excitement. But yes, patience is key. When your row is called, show your boarding pass and passport, and you're ready to board the plane.
I love the moment when you walk through that tunnel and feel the plane's air conditioning hit your face. It's like, yes, it's real, I'm going.
The same. And on the plane, flight attendants might say, please fasten your seatbelt, or we're about to take off. That's when your heart skips a beat.
Then comes the magic phrase, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tokyo."
Ah, the sweetest words for any traveler. After landing, you'll hear, please remain seated until the seatbelt sign is off. Then you grab your hand luggage and exit.
Next stop, immigration control again, but this time for entry. You'll fill out a landing card, a short form with your name, purpose of visit, and hotel address.
Exactly. After that, you go to baggage claim to collect your suitcase. Make sure you recognize your bag. Lots of black suitcases look the same.
Good tip. I tie a small red ribbon on my handle so I can spot it easily.
Smart idea. Then, after customs, you're officially in a new country. That's the moment travelers call touchdown. It means you've arrived and are ready to explore.
All right, we're in Tokyo. First impression, so clean, so organized, so quiet. Even the subway feels peaceful.
Yes, Japan is famous for its politeness and punctuality. If you're 1 minute late for a train, you've missed it.
That's true. And for our listeners, punctuality means being on time. So if someone says she's always punctual, it means she's never late.
Exactly. And here's a fun cultural note. In Japan, silence in public transport is seen as respect, so people don't talk loudly on phones or eat inside trains.
I like that. It makes travel peaceful. Oh, and I just used my first Japanese word, arigato. That means thank you.
Nice! Learning local greetings is always a good idea. Even simple words like hello, thank you, and excuse me make locals smile.
Right. It shows effort. And sometimes English isn't enough. You use gestures, smiles, or even Google Translate to communicate.
Exactly. Communication is about connection, not perfection. Even broken English works if your tone is kind.
Beautifully said, Jack. Now let's talk about exploring the city. What's the first thing you like to do when you arrive somewhere new?
Walk. I love to explore on foot. It helps me learn the rhythm of the place, the smells, sounds, people, everything.
Same here. I always find small cafes or local shops that aren't on Google Maps. That's the magic of spontaneous travel.
Ooh, that's a great word for our listeners. Spontaneous. It means doing something suddenly, without planning. For example, we took a spontaneous trip to the beach.
I love that. Travel teaches you to be spontaneous and flexible. Things rarely go exactly as planned, and that's okay.
So, Jack, what's your first meal in Tokyo?
Sushi, of course. I went to a conveyor belt sushi restaurant once. It was like watching art in motion.
Ah, yes. And food is one of the best ways to connect with culture. When you order, you can say, "Could I have the menu, please?" Or, "What do you recommend?"
Right. And don't forget basic restaurant phrases. Table for two, please. Can I have some water? The bill, please. That means check or receipt.
Perfect. And for English learners, here's a pronunciation tip. Restaurant is pronounced restaurant, not rest-o-rent.
Nice catch. Also, tipping is not common in Japan. It can even be seen as rude. But in countries like the US, tipping is almost required.
Yes, so always learn local customs. For example, in Japan, you hand money politely using both hands. In Italy, people greet with kisses on both cheeks.
That's what I love about travel. It's like learning real-life social studies.
Exactly. Every country is a new classroom. You learn vocabulary, manners, emotions, even patience.
Speaking of patience, remember the phrase, when in Rome, do as the Romans do? That fits perfectly here.
Yes, it means you should adapt to local traditions wherever you go.
I think that's the secret of a good traveler. Be curious, humble, and kind.
Well said, Jack. And for our listeners, remember some useful phrases when meeting locals. "Excuse me, could you help me find this place? Is this the right way to the station? Thank you for your help."
And when you're lost, just smile and say, I'm a tourist. Works every time.
True. People are usually happy to help. The world is kinder than we think. So today, we learned how to talk through airports, arrivals, and exploring new cities. We practiced words like boarding pass, customs, check-in, baggage claim, and punctuality.
And we also explored how to connect with locals through food, respect, and curiosity.
Exactly. Traveling isn't just about moving from one place to another, it's about expanding your mind and your English.
That's deep, Emma. You always make travel sound like poetry.
Maybe because I truly believe language and travel are two wings of the same bird. They help you fly.
Beautiful metaphors. So, listeners, part 4 is going to be even more special. We'll talk about travel memories, dealing with problems abroad, and how to describe your travel experiences in fluent English.
Yes, you'll learn storytelling techniques and natural expressions for sharing your adventures.
Yes! Today, we're talking about travel memories, storytelling, and how to describe your travel experiences in fluent, natural English, because every journey deserves to be told well.
Exactly. When we share our stories, we don't just practice English, we relive our experiences. So today's conversation is all about reflection, expression, and learning from travel.
Let's start with the simple question, Jack. What's one travel memory that always makes you smile?
Oh, that's easy. I remember getting lost in Rome late at night. My phone died, maps didn't work, and I couldn't find my hotel. But instead of panicking, I found a small bakery still open. The owner spoke no English, I spoke no Italian, but somehow we laughed, ate, and he helped me find my way back. It reminded me that kindness is universal.
That's beautiful. And notice how Jack used the past simple tense. I got lost, my phone died, I found. When we talk about specific events that happened and are finished, we use the past simple.
Right. But sometimes we use past continuous to describe the background. For example, I was walking through the streets when I realized I was lost. That shows what was happening at that moment.
Exactly. And we can combine them for storytelling. I was walking through Rome when I met a kind baker who helped me find my way back.
Yes, that's how you bring a story to life. Grammar becomes emotion when it connects to real memories.
Perfectly said. And here's my favorite travel memory. I was in Bali, sitting on the beach during sunset, and I realized how small and big the world feels at the same time. You're just one person on a planet full of billions, but you're connected through the same sky.
Wow, that's poetic. And it shows the word perspective. It means the way you see or understand things. Travel changes your perspective.
Exactly. So, listeners, when you share travel stories, think about feelings, not just facts. Describe what you saw, but also what you felt.
Okay, let's be honest. Not every trip is perfect. Sometimes things go wrong, and that's okay. Those moments often become the best stories.
True. So let's teach our listeners some vocabulary for travel problems. For example, my flight was delayed. It left later than planned. My luggage was lost. It didn't arrive with me. I missed my connection. I didn't catch my next flight. I got sunburned. Too much sun. The hotel was overbooked. Too many guests, not enough rooms.
Yes, I once had my luggage delayed for 3 days. I had to wear the same shirt and jeans the whole time.
That must have been rough. What did you do?
I laughed it off. That's the phrase, to laugh something off. It means to treat a problem lightly instead of getting angry.
Nice. That's such a good mindset. Another phrase is make the best of it, which means to stay positive even in a bad situation.
Yes, like our hotel didn't have hot water, but we made the best of it by swimming in the ocean instead.
Exactly. And for English learners, here are a few more travel-related expressions. To miss the boat means to miss an opportunity. To be jet-lagged means to feel tired after a long flight across time zones. To hit the road means to start your journey or leave a place.
Great list. And here's a phrase I love. Every cloud has a silver lining. It means every bad situation has something good hidden inside.
Perfect. That's the spirit of travel. You learn, adapt, and grow through every experience. Now, let's talk about how to tell your travel story in English naturally. Storytelling isn't art, but there's a simple structure you can follow.
Yes. Think of it like this. Start with the setting. Where and when did it happen? Describe the people. Who was with you? Share the problem or event. What happened? Explain the feeling. How did it make you feel? End with reflection. What did you learn from it?
Perfect. For example, I was in Paris last summer with my best friend. One day, we decided to explore without a map. We got completely lost, but ended up finding a hidden cafe with the best croissants ever. It reminded me that sometimes getting lost leads you to the right place.
Wow, that's storytelling gold. And notice Emma used lots of sensory words, like hidden cafe, best croissants, explore without a map. Descriptive language paints pictures.
Exactly. Words like beautiful, peaceful, crowded, delicious, noisy, quiet, chilly, sunny help listeners imagine what you saw and felt.
And remember transitions. Then, after that, suddenly, finally. These words guide your listener through the timeline.
Yes, and emotions make stories real. You can say, I felt amazed. I was shocked. It was unforgettable, or I'll never forget that moment.
That's true. Even simple phrases like, it took my breath away, make your story powerful.
Exactly. So when you talk about travel in English, don't just describe places, describe moments.
You know, Emma, after all this talk, I realized travel teaches us more than any book.
So true. It teaches patience, curiosity, and gratitude. It reminds you how beautiful differences are.
Right. You learn that no matter where you go, people want the same things: respect, kindness, connection.
Yes, and from a language point of view, travel is the best classroom. You use real English and real life, ordering food, asking for directions, chatting with locals.
Exactly. Even if you make mistakes, people understand your effort. That's what matters.
I agree. In fact, I believe there's a perfect phrase that sums it up. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page.
Wow, I love that quote. It means travel opens your mind, just like reading opens your imagination.
Exactly. And every page you read, every journey you take, adds new words, new stories, new understanding.
So true. I think that's what makes English learning and travel such perfect partners. One teaches you to communicate, the other teaches you to feel.
Beautifully said, Jack. And for our listeners, wherever you go next, use your English confidently. Don't worry about grammar, just connect with people.
Exactly. Smile, speak, and listen. That's real communication.
All right, everyone. That brings us to the end of today's journey and our full 4-part episode on talking about travel plans. We started with dreaming, we planned, we traveled, and now we reflect.
Yes, and we learned dozens of useful travel phrases, idioms, and storytelling tips along the way.
So, wherever you are, whether you're planning your next adventure or just dreaming of one, remember, English isn't a destination, it's a journey.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep speaking English.
And as we always say, this is the English Podcast Zone, where your English takes off.